Hello, everyone. This is Baika from BYKE Academy, and I want to give you a short background about what BYKE does. We have online courses, online classes for students from all around the world, and not just connecting with students. We want to connect with teachers, educators, coaches, and mentors from all around the world. That's why I started this webinar slash podcast. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of name fits our theme. And this is our episode 6. This is number 6. And we have a very new, very unique topic. It's called teacher author. I also, for me, started my journey at becoming an author just a year ago. And I'm still figuring out, trying to navigate through this new avenue. And I have a lot of questions for my dear friend Lauren, and I think she can give us a lot of insight on how all of you who is starting a complete new journey. And I feel like it's never late to start something new. That's why I started Global Educator webinar. My goal is to hit 100 episodes. So if you are a speaker who is interested, you can be a coach, you could be a mentor, you could be a mom. Mom is one of the best teachers out there. It does not matter what kind of educator you are. Please reach out. And the main purpose for this webinar slash podcast is to connect with educators all around the world. We've had 5 episodes before. We've had speakers from all of these regions that you have see a pin on the map, over 10 countries. We had amazing speakers. If you have not watched our previous episodes, you could go to our YouTube channel and watch. I've uploaded episode 5. And if you want to be notified for any new episodes, please follow our Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. And again, this is our episode 6. I would like to invite our speaker. Her name is Lauren. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment. We'll always reach out to you as soon as we are able to. So let's invite Lauren. Please give us a short background about yourself and where are you from and any interesting information we should know about you.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I love your platform and what you're about. My name is Lauren, and I'm a mom. I'm a mom to 5 wonderful children, ranging from ages 21 all the way down to 6, which is quite a range. I have homeschooled some of them. Some of them are now in public school. And now that they're all in school, I'm sort of on this journey of just committing to establish my creativity in all the platforms and avenues that excite me. And so, from a small town, really teeny tiny town of 2,000 people, I now live in Texas. I've been married for 16 years, and I'm just excited to be here.
Thank you. It feels like you have a handful. You are a mom and you are doing wonderful. And tell us like one thing that's interesting about motherhood and what is the
A
fun
lot of things are interesting about
part.
motherhood. I think, there's some days that are just honestly so joy filled, and there are days where you feel like every gray hair on your head is just from every from every child that you have that day. So I think it's just about enjoying every minute. Each kiddo is so different, and I think that's what's taught me so much is I thought I had life figured out, and then I had kids. And so I've learned so much about me as I teach them. I think I'm teaching them, but what really comes to life is that they're teaching me. Just their innocence and the way they project it is, I don't know, just something that's you can't experience outside of motherhood. So it's really special.
Oh, I really like the part that you said that they're teaching me. I can fully relate to this because when I'm teaching, working with my students, I always tell them, maybe you can teach me something new. There's so much out there that I don't even know, and I get to learn from my students, and that's like a rewarding part of being a teacher. And just to like touch on about homeschool, what's a favorite subject that you like to teach at home?
So, all of my kids are so incredibly different. And the one, I homeschooled 3 of them. One that I did homeschool I ended up finding out I had to put him back into school because he was so smart and required so much stimulation. But I think it was also my favorite part, although it was the most difficult. It was both and. He was a very hands-on tactile learner, and so my creative energy had to come out regularly. And my favorite part of teaching him was math because he was the most excited about it. And so every day learning how to come up with tactile ways for him to learn was, it filled my cup and it also made us connect on another level. And so I think that was honestly, it was like I said, it was my most difficult because it challenged me in ways I hadn't been challenged before, but it also was my most favorite time that I spent with him.
That's so wonderful. That's so nice. And that is like a short intro for us. And the next question to get into our main topic. What is a book? What's the book that you have published recently? And please tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I've published a few books. My first two, I like to call those my, it's like I wasn't ever going to change them because they were sort of my boo-boos, just trying to figure out what I was doing. But they were children's books. But the most recent book I published was one that was really, it was close to home, and I'll talk more about it in a little bit. But it's titled "A Woman Once Lost," and it's a devotion, a 30-day devotion that is filled with all different kinds of just hope-filled scripture based on themes that we all struggle with as women, like rejection and community and, all different financial struggle. And really, I always say it's a book that could really is a personal conviction of my own that I just thought, there's got to be so many women that also struggle with this. And I just decided to commit to committing, and I wanted to bring this idea to life. And that's what and that's the book that I made.
Yeah, so I love the title "A Woman Once Lost," and definitely I think a lot of females can relate to this book, and I really like advise or like a lot of people to like actually download or purchase this book because I think there will be a lot of great advice on this in this book. And
Yeah.
what or who inspired you to become an author? And in
It's
like
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about this question as you present it, and I think ultimately my faith in Jesus. I mean, he has been my all in all through everything, through every high and every low. I actually began writing this book without realizing it was a book years ago, as just a journal entry. And since coming to, an established relationship with Jesus, one of my biggest struggles is commitment. And something I really wanted to do was to take an idea and to bring it to life. And he really just kind of helped me do that. My marriage sort of faced some difficult lows, some valley moments in motherhood that were extremely difficult. And this is just sort of that raw, real perspective of that. So it's a combination of, both my personal life with my husband and my children, and also the central theme of Jesus in my life. I mean, he has been everything. Without him, I could not have written this book.
that is so wonderful. Like when I was thinking about the question, I was thinking maybe she might say her children or her mom, but no, it's completely new. So it's very, very inspiring, even like for me. When I first
Thank
became
you.
when I first became an author, started writing children's book, I would immediately think of my kids. I don't know why, because in the classroom there are so many struggles, and I see students bored. It's hard for them to be engaged. And then I would get these like epiphanies like, oh, why can't I start writing these interesting books to help them feel engaged? That's how I kind of started writing children's book. But
Yeah.
your inspiration is the ultimate leader of our universe. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah, I couldn't have done this without him. So it was like, okay, how do I, really that's the number one reason that I wrote this book. And I'm just so thankful. It was a journey, but it was a lot of fun.
I think a lot of people kind of forget that, Christ is our leader all year long and not just around Christmas time. But this is like a Christmas, so this also could be a really good book for a lot of people out there who is looking maybe for a gift to buy for their friends, for their mom. So this is
Oh
all.
yeah. Yeah, I've even gifted this myself to a lot of my close friends, and they've just said how much that it's resonated with them and helped them. And yeah, I mean, it's even helped me. I've even gone back into my own writings and been like, oh, okay, I can apply that to my own life today. I could journal my own thought in there. So, which is neat because inside this book, there also is a spot for you to have a time of reflection. So it's not just a read. There's also a time of application and reflection and an actual space where you can write, which I think makes it stand out against some of the other devotions where you simply just read.
Hmm. Hmm. That's wonderful. I'm gonna move on to the next question. The next question is so back to Woman Once Lost. So we know who inspired you. It's kind of my biggest takeaway is that you are trying to work on commitment. Am I right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have these creative bursts of energy where I am all in, I have the idea, I'm brainstorming, and it seems very exciting, but I lose the ambition and I'm on to the next idea. And so for me, just committing, that's life gets busy. I'm sure you're a teacher. That's quite a busy task that you have. But teaching, raising kids, being a wife, doing all the volunteer things, life gets in the way. So the process of writing this book was simply not necessarily giving myself a timeline. It was just more about the endurance to finish. And so I didn't necessarily weigh myself down or bog myself down with, okay, I'm giving myself until, a week or September or 2 months. It was just the idea of wanting it to be raw, real, and committing to finish. And so just finishing was very exciting for me.
That is so wonderful. And yeah, I think that kind of pretty much covers up the process. And
Yeah.
do you like, so you didn't push yourself. That's wonderful that you didn't let maybe societal pressure or like anyone else in your family to pressure you because you felt like everybody else was succeeding. I think for me, kind of like when I first started writing, creating books, it was a little bit of a pressure because of all everybody else. It seemed like everybody else around me was succeeding. And I felt like I
Yeah.
was not succeeding. And I was like, I'm not doing anything right. Like in my free time, I'm using it unproductively. And I know this is like a bad way to compare yourself with other people, but your motive and the process is also really inspiring me, and I'm learning from you that okay, I don't want to finish just because I want to please others, but is you want to
Yeah.
prove yourself that you can do something. And what was like the feeling of achievement once you were done?
Oh my
Celebrate.
goodness.
How did you
Okay. So
celebrate?
yeah. So the most difficult part, honestly, was the formatting and the editing. And I knew I was excited when the last page was done, but transitioning it as a self-publishing it and transitioning it onto the platform KDP, so it could be available for purchase on Amazon was a struggle because sometimes it doesn't transfer well. And so that last preview that I knew where everything was aligned and I had gotten all my right colors and design and I hit that button and it came back for approval, it was like, okay, this is coming to life. And I was just incredibly excited. It wasn't even like I said necessarily when I finished the last word of the last page. It was when it really came back and was like, said, okay, you are approved. Your book will go live. And I just thought, I did it. Thank you, Lord. I did it. And I was really, really excited.
That is so wonderful. That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing. And
Yeah.
is there anything that you would like to add about your book? Anything else about the core theme or core concepts? How many chapters are there? And a little bit more about the book.
Yeah, so this is here. Let me put it on camera. This is the book. It's right here. This is the cover. It's available for purchase in hardcover and also paperback. There are an incredible amount of themes. There are 30 themes for 30 days. Like I said, it's a 30-day devotion. It is a quick read. I'll give you a little preview right here. For instance, let me turn to page 1 so I can show you. This is the first one, and it's on betrayal. So you'll see there's like a little devotion. There's always starts with scripture. and there'll be a summary, and then there's an application part. So there's a question that it'll actually ask you to dive deep inside to have some self-reflection and to write it down. So this could be just an intimate journal that you do just between you and God. Um, and like I said, it's a great gift. It's a great just for a self purchase. I think we all need to take the time for ourselves. I think we forget about ourselves a lot and leave ourselves empty. So and it's quick. It's not anything deep. You don't need to spend hours at it. You could take 10 or 20 minutes in the morning. Um, and I think it's not a one size fits all. It's not just for a mom. It's not just for a wife. It could be a grandma, a sister, an aunt. If you're single, if you're married, if you're widowed, anybody, any woman could read this book.
That is so wonderful, and I hope all the females that are listening, I hope you can get to buy it. Thank you so much for giving all the details about your book, and I'm so like excited. I want to get a copy, and I hope everyone else can also get a chance to go to Amazon, search for A Woman Once Lost, and make sure to buy it. This leads us to our last question. I'm sure there are a lot of people who out there who have a passion for writing and they're not sure where to start. So let's say for someone who wants to become an author, what would be your advice to them?
I think what's most important, first and foremost, is finding your passion. So, something that you are passionate about. If you love fantasy writing, if you love, real life, if you love, whatever it is, something that's close to your heart, a personal experience, being vulnerable enough to share that and finding your passion, I think that's most important because that's going to be portrayed on the page. And writing down every idea and not getting frustrated if every idea doesn't come to life. Just anytime I had an idea, I would write it down. As soon as it came to my mind, I put it right on paper. And some of those came to life and some of those didn't, but it only extended the creativity in my mind. Um, Also, with your editing process, if you are self-editing, finding a really good editing platform or finding someone that that's also a teacher that can look at your page and say, hey, here's where I think you need to change it around or maybe adjust this wording to get some outside feedback before you self-publish. And last but not least, I think most importantly is don't rush it. Let it be natural. Let it just come as it comes, and you will find that it will come a lot more quickly than you think when you don't put the pressure on yourself. Let it be natural. That comes across on the page so beautifully. And I think that's what people really like to see is just your authentic vision that you have in your book.
That's so beautiful. That is so wonderful. I like how you talked about being authentic, being real. Have you ever like bought a book that you felt like it just didn't feel connected to you? Have you ever bought not to like trash anyone, like
No,
just
yeah, I think I even look at my first book I created and I had to do some adjusting because I thought, ooh, that was a little rough. I didn't even take my own advice in it. And so there are those books you pick up and you just feel so disconnected with what you're reading. And I think when you find your niche and you find your passion, it just displays so well to the reader. They connect with it, and it's just something beautiful that happens. And so that's my biggest suggestion is you have to have the passion for it, for sure.
And I do have a lot of students who ask me, like, I want to improve my writing. I want to improve my writing. I liked how you said, like, whenever you have an idea, write it down. Some may come to life, some may not. So it's okay. Don't beat yourself. If your idea
Yeah.
does not interpret, so I know a lot of students struggle with like interpreting or transforming their thoughts into words, especially if English is your second language, it's very difficult. And don't beat yourself if you want to become write narrative or fiction.
Yeah, even if it's one word or a picture, if you're visual, placing a picture down from there, it could extend so much creativity. I think that's the idea, right? Is that we all can be passionate but have different ways of expressing it. And so not allowing ourselves to be squandered in how we apply our vision on the basis that everybody needs to meet a certain standard. We all see our creativity come to life in so many different ways. So whether that's, like I said, taking a picture of something or just writing one word down, I think none of it goes wasted.
I really, really agree with you. And yeah, for people that want to find their niche, for me, I feel like niche is what is something that's very immediate, something that's very close to you. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people struggle with their passion is they're always searching something out there. Or like for me,
Yeah.
I've been traveling. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna maybe if I travel to another country, I'm gonna get a better idea. Or maybe if I go to that country, I might become a better writer. However, for
Yeah.
me, I feel like the best niche or idea is right around you, the nearest. It can
I
be
love that.
it can be your relationship with God. It can be a relationship with your friend. It can be a relationship with the nature. Whatever you find peace, whatever makes you find, happy when you sit at night all by yourself, because we have to face our thoughts
Yeah.
after a long day,
Yeah.
whatever thought that's in your head, I feel like that is the best niche.
Yes, yeah, and just let it out. Put it on paper. Be vulnerable to share because you would be surprised when we bring those ideas to life that we do face at night when we're sitting alone with ourselves, how many other people also carry those same thoughts. And so I think that's what's, the beautiful thing that intrigues me about writing, whether it's for women or for children. It's this ability to connect so many different people with different talents, different gifts, different cultures, yet we can all kind of meet at the same space because at the end of the day, we're all just humans trying to make it through this life, no matter what season God has you in.
And that's a wrap. Thank you, Lauren, so, so much for coming on and
Yeah,
sharing,
thanks for
sharing
having
your
me.
book. And everyone go to Amazon, make sure to find Woman Once Lost. I'll tag the link in the bio. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for new episodes. See you all.
All right, bye.
Bye.